So here I am coming off of a 26-day work week. Yeah, you heard that right, 26-day work week. 6 days shalt thou labor, and the seventh thou shalt rest. Yeah, the Army doesn't like religion. No, they don't give you that seventh day. All kinds of projects stacked up, parts I've bought, sitting there in the garage. I'm too tired to do any of the bigger ones, so I'm going to do the smallest one there is today, so at least make some sort of progress on the first day I've had off since February 20th. See, this is what pisses me off about these LED lights. And I've changed the bulbs multiple times on these things. Nobody makes a good LED bulb. At least not in this color temperature at an affordable price. So that's why I'm going to go back. I'm just sick and tired of sometimes when I'm driving, this whole portion right here goes totally black. When I first put them in, they were all like this side. I can't take that anymore, so that's why I'm reverting. Because even over here, this bulb will go sometimes. And there's no predicting them. They're just cheap Chinesium LED chips or whatever the heck they are. They're just not reliable. So pulling these dashes off is pretty simple if you haven't done what I've done with that. They're just clipped on. You just come up in here, find this seam, and you pull. I have to remove this first. Well, that's a whole different story. There's a trim ring on it. Oh, I haven't torn this apart in a long time. I can't do that with one hand. Yeah, so trim ring comes off, screws, those come off next. And then I'll be able to pull this radio deck out. Looks like I already loosened up that. I'll have to pull this out because I've got my cooling fan switch still there. Just a little bit of disassembly so I can get to what I need to change all this out. Now, I've tried. I've changed these out probably 3-4 times. I have tried to find LEDs that will leave me with the blue that I kind of like, but I can't find them. So I'm going back to some Sylvania ones that are just the OEM style ones. They're incandescent. Funny thing is, that'll give me the dimmable feature back again. But just some incandescent lights. Go back to what it was in the factory. Got to do it in this one too because it started flickering in this section. So I got to pull all of it apart to be able to get to all that. So yeah, I get those 4 screws. The backing plate that I glued on is still in there. Holds it into DIN size. Just comes on out, and then I can unwire it. Cooling fan one, I've marked and tagged everything that's in here so I know where to put it back together. This thing comes with so many freaking wires that, you know, if you've got a big boat, great. I'm just too chicken to cut some of those wires off for fear that I might actually want to use them someday. All right, so that's out. Unplug that. You do need to pull this back a little bit. So you pull out your cup holder and then everything should be able to unsnap. That's already halfway there. You see that, it just pulls out. It's a little bit of a trick. Drop your steering wheel all the way down. Make sure your shift lever's down here. I'm down in first gear with the shift lever, and that way I can get to wrangle all this out. One thing I want to check out is this is a little, you see that's a little loose. Let's see if I can strengthen that. So there we go. The 4-wheel drive switches, they come off. A little prong there to be pushed inside there, and the other one's real easy. It's right out there. My lights, I see a lot of broken tabs back there. That's probably why it's loose. But otherwise, this part right here is a little bit hard to get past here. After you've done all of that, then you get the stereo stuff to stop hanging up on it. There's the USB for the iPod. That comes out. Set it aside. Now, all the wiring goes where the wiring goes. Now's the opportune time to change anything if I wanted to. I don't know that I need to. This needs to come off. And these are in, if I remember right, mine was a little bit broken, but I swear there's a squeeze tab to get them out. It's broken on this side. I don't know, I need a longer flathead screwdriver maybe, not. I want to say it's in there. Yep, So you just pry that a little bit, it comes out. Now we're getting somewhere. And like I said, mine, you can see that one's a little bit broken. So it doesn't hold, whoops, now it's all the way broken. It doesn't hold on that side at all. Has little pins here that fit in the holes there. What you're looking at here, here's the light bulb holders. There, there, there. Trying to remember, this one may only have those 4. I don't think there were more on the other side. Let's lift her up and see. I don't want to detach anything. Turn it over. Yeah, there might be, I think I left those ones alone down here and here. So I think those are orange. They light up that button, and that button would too, wouldn't it? Yeah. And that one does light up, but its bulb must be deep inside this little assembly. I'm just going to replace these 4. And they come with these little GM bulb holders that you twist out, and there it is. And see, I had a little 1-chip LED. This is the one that's flickering. They will fail like that. Like these simple freaking made in China probably. These things fail. So I'm going to put incandescents back. So I did get the 2 sizes. There's little tiny sizes this way. I want to say that is your twist on deal. I don't think I have to use that one. I just use this one. I want to say they'll just replace back in. Don't know. Incandescents don't worry about polarity like the LEDs do, so I should be able to just twist them in and be done. Be a quick way to find out. Yeah, and you see the copper that's on there, that's your contact. And they only twist at an angle like that, so they don't need to be fully twisted. We'll find out in a second. I'll hang on to all of this. Like these little bulb bases, I'll hang on to those. I think you can get just the bulb by itself. Do my best not to touch those bulbs because oils on things like that can cause issues. It's a little difficult to twist these ones. So it is a really, really snug fit, which I think you would want. I'm about to go crazy. There. There, okay. That's pretty tight. That one's out. Let's put this one back in. I don't think there's one way over another for these. Being very, very gentle with my multi-tool. Again, this plastic circuit board type junk that it is, they're old. Get that one out. It's funny, I got like a pack of 10 for $5, $6, $10 at most. I don't remember what it was. Boom, it's in there now. Quick way to figure out if that worked. Turn on the lights. I see glowing on the back side, right? Which means you can't see in this light, can you? But I know it's glowing because I've got glowing on the back side. So we know we've got the glowing that we wanted. Okay, so we know we fixed this part. Let's move on to the next. Short of buying a whole new assembly, I wonder about drilling and putting a hole in there. This plastic behind here is pretty stout. There's nothing back there that would be harmed by it, so I might put a screw in there. Let's see if I can find a small one. And that should keep it tight. You notice GM puts this foam stuff in there for rattle guard, so it doesn't rattle. I might not, I don't know. Now to get your instrument bezel out, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that are 7 millimeters. No, yeah, I had them in kind of tight, so I'm going to use a machine. This little screwdriver has been one of my favorite purchases. Yes, I'm an old guy. I'm 45 years old. I still hang on to DeWalt stuff. I haven't switched over to Milwaukee Red. Do what you want to do. I do what I want to do. And the fourth one's a little bit tricky to get to because you got all this wiring that's in the way. I'm gonna have to figure something out here. Try to remember how this moved out of the way. Yeah, all of that's here, but it'll stuff back down in there. It's the 4-wheel drive. What the heck else is in this little bundle? I think, you know what I think this is terminated, just as it's, if you had a cargo lamp on a pickup, and then if you had fog lights from the factory, it's all right here. I think that's what this stuff is. It would make sense. It would be cool if I could get the fog light switch and use that somehow for my own fog lights, but nah, I'm already down here with a fog light. So that's what this has to be. Any which way, move it out of the way. There's that one. You pull it out and you've got your bezel out. So you move it here, then you're gonna need to tilt it this way to be able to get it out. I'm being nice and gentle. You can see its connection is right there. Like I said, I think that's what those harnesses are and why they're wrapped up, because the Suburban doesn't have a cargo light. Most Suburbans didn't have fog lights. So, backside of this one, you see the bigger black ones are the ones that I replaced and put LEDs. Most of these little ones would take that, but I didn't replace them. I left them as they were. So these are the ones. Oh yeah, look at that one. See how it's burnt? Looks a little corroded or burnt or something. They suck. They don't last. When they probably started flickering probably about a year ago, and I decided I wasn't going to play that game anymore, and I was just ready to just go back to incandescents. It used to be a time, probably back in the 70s and 80s, you could get incandescents in different colors. Not so much anymore. All right, I'm going to replace all these. So I am doing my best not to get the oils on it by using the plastic bag is what I touch it with before I put them in. I don't know how much of a difference that makes or not. I don't have any cameras with me so I can show you as I'm doing it, but that's how I'm doing it. Use the plastic bag to be what's touching it. Try to keep my oils off of it as much as I can, because I don't want to have to tear apart this dash again. All right, here we go. Now these little things are pretty simple. They've got the tabs on them. You can kind of see them. Put them in, spin them. Let's try that again. Said they're simple. I don't know if you heard that click, but it clicks when it's set, so you don't have to push much farther. Let's see this one. Yep, see that clicks when it comes undone. I am seeing on these things, every single one of them showing that little bit of corrosion, burning, whatever it is. So these things, I'm guessing they don't have enough cooling for what they are and what they do with, what, 5 chips on them, 5 LEDs. So that's probably why they blow. Sylvania makes LED bulbs, but they don't make a blue that I actually like. Their blue's more like an ice blue instead of this being like a cobalt blue. So there's your answer for why I didn't just go for Sylvanias. I have tried them. I don't like that color. So I'm just going to go back to incandescents. If you want to get into here, these 2 tabs we're looking at right here, that's how you separate the 2 pieces of the bezel. I'm going to do that for something I want to do. There's only one on this side. Nice and gentle. This stuff's, what, 20 some odd years old, so gently pull it apart, and then I can get in here to do this. What's fun is how many things are marked here and how many things are missing. Obviously this Suburban doesn't use everything. That one that's empty is a low coolant. One over here that's empty is upshift. I'm not a manual. STS, not sure. And then WIF. What is WIF? I know what that could say, but you know, let's try to keep this child friendly. There's another empty one there that's unmarked. Don't know what that light would be for. DRLs, I removed those a long time ago. That whole system's gone from this truck. I took it out a long time ago. If you're wondering how to do that, there's all kinds of videos all over YouTube of dudes removing their daytime running lights. It's not hard. There's a couple modules. There's this light bulb, and you're done. But what I'm after is this right here. This bulb right here is the ABS. So flip it over. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, right there. You can kind of see. That's always glowing because my ABS module is basically malfunctioning. Has been for a long, long time. This is how you would pull it apart if you got one of the other specialty back faces. I don't know. See, all these needles are free. Yeah, leave them where they're at. Don't know how you pull the needles off. You probably just pop them. I'm not playing with mine. But what I'm after is I'm going to blacken that in so it doesn't irritate me as much. It's funny, this is kind of a felt paper. This may only dim it a little bit, but at least there's not an orange light screaming at me. It kind of irritates me. What I find funny, there's a leaf in here. It's one of those, I don't know what those trees are called. Elder trees or something trees, whatever the heck they are, I hate them. They drop those little leaves all over the dang place. All right, I think I'm ready to reassemble and be done with this whole project. So looking around at this, I've just broken tabs here and here. All these tabs are broken to hold the light switches. This right here is why I wouldn't go get a new one. Because that epoxy's holding in pretty freaking strong. So this is the back plate that comes with that Rockford Fosgate radio. And that's, if I got a whole new dash piece, which you can get them. LMC Truck and some others probably have them. But I won't because of that, so I'll just live with the lights being what they are over here. Someday I might figure something out. I don't think you'd want to glue it in there. You certainly wouldn't. I might try some freaking tape or something. I don't know. Some Gorilla tape maybe? Find something. Yeah, there we go. Just a couple of 1/2-inch lath screws. These little duggers. Get those wherever you buy your hardware. It's got that held in a lot better. That should hold it for a bit. Now let's reassemble. Or keep reassembling. All right. A little bit of tape in there. Try to keep these two somewhat better. All right, that is back in. You just gotta be real gentle when you push all these clip holes back in. They usually go in pretty easily, so don't force it. They go back in. Kind of worried about some of the boots behind these where they attach to the actual plenums back there. They seem a little bit bunched up, but they should be okay. Everything's solid back in there. Now all I got to do is reinstall my switches, reinstall the radio. That's back in. That's funny though. I don't use that anymore when I've got this. But yeah. All right. Let's keep reassembling. So there it is, back to stock. Coloring in that little thing did me no good. I'll leave it that way, whatever. Thought about putting a piece of electrical tape over it inside there, except for if the electrical tape fell off, that might have been a problem. I didn't want to just remove the bulb because that caused problems in my S10. I still got to tear apart that dash, remove the bulb, and then remove the bulb, and then you'll find your brake light on all the time because the computer circuitry can figure that out for some reason, even in the S10. So I'd imagine this one would do the same. Whatever. But yeah, I can dim it. I usually go full bright. Maybe a little less, I don't know. But no more flickering, just simple incandescent stock bulbs. Rest of the truck has still got the blue lights. The ones under the dash are LED strips of a higher quality. None of the other bulbs seem to be causing me problems. I would guess that's because they're simply not used as often. And most of those ones in the doors and places like that, I can get to them easy enough. So there it is, good tutorial on how to tear apart your dash, how to get in there and fix things and do things. But yeah, if you come this far, appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.